that's exactly how it would end. We thought it was going to be quite the challenge for Barcelona, but they came out on top with a 2-0 win. And of course, they take all 3 points into the new year. Well, we have our Luis Garcia joining us right here. Luis, like I said, we thought this was going to be quite the challenge for Barcelona. Definitely one of their tougher challenges so far this season, considering it was going up against a spirited Villarreal and the fact that they have the best defense in the league. But in the end, the scoreline absolutely flatters them.
Yeah, the scoreline, if we look at the result, we could think that the Barcelona had a pleasant game, and it wasn't like this. It should have been a smooth sailing in the second half with one more player, but it was not much. So in the end, it's about the result and continue moving forward. And this break that is not big, but at least 1 week for the players to rest, to kind of get together and start focusing on the second half of the season. But they have so much trouble. In the second half with one man, you have to control a lot more. We talk about the control in the first 45. There was no control from Barcelona. I counted even 6 or 7 chances for Villarreal to score a goal. They didn't have the luck to capitalize one of those. In the second half, again, when Barcelona scored the second one, you thought, okay, now it's control about keeping the passes, not making mistakes, and Barcelona begs against mistakes on the build-up, transition, and they have a score. They could have scored again Villarreal in a couple of occasions. It was Joan Garcia who was the hero in the second 45 minutes. So in the end, a good result for Barcelona, a clean sheet. That is something that we don't see quite often in this Barcelona side this season, but definitely not so many positive things. Just rotation, no injuries, apart from Koundé. That is also another concern. Barcelona keeping a lot of players getting injuries, and then that means that the second part of the season is going to be even thicker and stronger to keep on. But that's what we've seen so far on this Barcelona during the season, and no wonder why Villarreal is in the top 4. I think they've been fantastic once again, and I think that they look like they're going to be one of the challenges for keeping up in the top 4.
Ale, I mean, I know we're going to make this about Barcelona because, of course, they are the winners in this one. But if you're Villarreal, you're absolutely kicking yourself, wondering how you didn't even get a point from this one.
Absolutely you are. I'll take it a step further. If I'm giving a man of the match performance to anybody, it would be Joan Garcia.
Yep.
Now, if Joan Garcia is the man of the match with Barcelona playing a man up the whole second half, and still he's the man of the match, it tells you that Villarreal had chances. At 11v11, Villarreal were the better team, and it was actually surprising that Barcelona were up in the game 1-0. Given the opportunities that Villarreal had created and the control that they seemed to have over the game. No control for Barcelona, as Luis just mentioned. Villarreal seemed to be the ones that were playing the game at the pace that they wanted to play. Barcelona were just kind of reacting to Villarreal and trying to keep up. That wasn't happening. And then, beyond all of that, Renato Vega decides to make the challenge, the unnecessary challenge, the dumb challenge, idiotic challenge. And I know people in general, not just on the field, tend to make dumb decisions every so often. Everybody's entitled to one of those.
I know what that's like.
Okay. But good Lord, this is not the moment. And it was so unnecessary. Lamine Yamal was going nowhere. He had his back to goal in the middle of midfield, going towards his own goal, going away from pressure, and Renato Vega decided, this is my moment. For what? What are you achieving? And while the Villarreal fans are going crazy, and everybody's booing the referee, and everybody's booing Lamine Yamal, by the way, when he scored, his celebration was that of whistling, because they were whistling him. Whistle Renato Vega. Have a go at him if you're a Villarreal fan, because he changed the game for you in a negative manner. He impacted the game in a negative way. Villarreal were very much in this game. The red card happened, and it obviously changed how Villarreal were able to approach it. They could have won this game. They could have come back. But a man down, it was always going to be tough, and Renato Vega put them in that situation.
Yeah, Luis, I suppose if you're Villarreal and you're looking at this, you're not so much talking about how Barcelona was able to get a 2-0 win. It's really how Villarreal almost shot themselves in the foot and forced themselves to lose this game.
Yeah, totally. I think they have so many options, but sometimes we forget that this is the difference between the top teams and the teams that they are fighting to get in the top situation. The quality in the top third, when you have to be more calm, to have more composure, to try to find the right decision to make and to be clinical, is where it makes the difference between Real Madrid, Barcelona, the cities, the Manchester Cities, the Arsenals, because they got players who have the opportunity to stay calm, stay composed, and make a good finish. Today, Villarreal, at some point, I think they make some mistakes on the decision making. It's true that Joan Garcia was immense today. He was outstanding every single time, making himself bigger, arriving earlier on the ball than the Villarreal players. But in the end, when you have 6-7 occasions against this Barcelona side, that you know that you're going to have it, because every single team has been having opportunities, you know that you have to be clinical. Once you have conceded the first one, you know you are in trouble, because Barcelona in the counter-attack can make the difference. So yeah, I am sure that they're going to be very disappointed of the result, but much more of the way that they have thrown away a good opportunity to jump into the top 2, even top 3, because don't forget, they got 2 games in hand for Villarreal.
You know, yesterday on the show, of course, the boys were talking about Real Madrid's win over Sevilla, and even though it was not pretty, it was probably just what Real Madrid needed now, what Xabi Alonso needed now, because ultimately that's what you feel champions are made of, the nitty-gritty, ugly wins here and there. We could probably say the same thing about Barcelona coming through in this one, Ale, but how much longer can this realistically last?
No, but there are 2 completely different feelings about Real Madrid right now and Barcelona right now. Now, there's an element of good fortune for Barcelona today, no doubt about that, just like there was an element of good fortune for Real Madrid against Sevilla. And yet, I mentioned in the pregame, el cochinillo, the suckling pig that Barcelona players are going to have, or may, or not have, whatever their choice may be, for Christmas. Their cochinillo, their suckling pig, is going to taste a whole lot better than Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Because Real Madrid are searching. They know they're in trouble. They can feel it, that you talk about Barcelona not controlling today's game in the first half against Villarreal. I cannot tell you was the last time that Real Madrid actually controlled the game and actually were dominant and confident in how they were going to approach a match and how they were going to win a match. They're sort of wondering and questioning how we're going to win games. Barcelona have a certainty about them. They won 8 in a row in LaLiga.
Yeah.
So when you feel that as a team, you know that perhaps today wasn't your best performance, and yet you walk out of there 2-0. We feel good. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Everybody enjoy yourself. Have a week off. You got a week off? You got a week off? All right. Say hi to the family for me. All right. You take care of yourself. Real Madrid is like, oh, boy. We don't know what we're going to get when we come back to training. We have no certainty about us. Barcelona does.
Luis, is that how you see it too in terms of the title race? If you're Barcelona, even though they have all the flaws that we have just discussed, especially with the injuries that they have, and again, that high line, that's no secret to anybody, but they're the ones that would feel a bit more comfortable heading into the new year, knowing exactly what Ale just said about Real Madrid.
Yeah, apart that I'm more seafood, and I'm not kind of the piggy
cochinillo guy.
for cochinillo guy for Christmas. But definitely, I'm sure that the feeling of Ale is mentioning exactly that one. You can see a Barcelona with a style that we saw that they were working last year, that he got the success, and now they're still managing to fix things. Like every other team, you're gonna have weaknesses at some point. You need to work on them, but you can see that the momentum of Barcelona is a lot better. You got something that you have to fix. You got something that you are work on. That's the main word. In Real Madrid, it's exactly that. Now you got a week to try to find a way of having a plan, to having a structure, to having a way of playing, to find out who is going to be the important players, who are going to be in the middle or who are going to be up front. That's a lot of work that Xabi Alonso has to do with this Real Madrid side. Not so much with Hansi Flick, that is at the top of the table, doing well in the Copa del Rey, doing well in Champions League, and then ins and out. Here, fix this, and let's see if we can control a bit more, if we don't make dominant mistakes. Today, they made so many mistakes on the build-up, so many balls that they were wasting in the middle of the park that they make the transition. So work on that. In the other side, they got a structure to build on, players who has to come back from injuries, the results are not good. There is a crowd that is not happy with what is happening on the field, on the players, on the manager. So a lot of things that have to be fixed. So I think that the momentum of both teams are not the same, even though Real Madrid is still fighting for that. So we'll have to wait and see in a week what they can bring with.